Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a review of my recent tour of the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia. This is where our members of the Legislative Assembly, our provincial government, enacts business for the province of British Columbia. And this is located at 501 Belleville Street in Victoria. And we had a guided tour that was arranged by my local MLA, Kelly Green. Thank you very much for arranging for us. And you can also go yourself on free tours. There's no parking, there's no underground parking, but there's a lot of street parking, and also there's parking lots around there. So it's not difficult to find. And the tours are a little bit different for each week, but they always have just public tour times, usually between 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. You'll have to check on their website each week, and you can just go in and visit yourself, or else you can take a guided tour, which I would suggest. It's all free. It's usually about an hour and a half. That's the time that you would probably spend in there, but it's a really neat place to go. Especially in the summer, it's quiet because usually the members of Legislative Assembly are not in session, so it's a little bit quieter. But if you go during maybe the winter months or in the early part of the year, they may be conducting business and you can see government running. So it might be a little bit more exciting. We chose to go during the summer. It's a little bit quieter, and you can have a more leisurely pace. There's less people. One of the first things that you see in the front of the Legislative Assembly is a canoe that was carved out by Stephen Point, who was a former Lieutenant Governor of British Columbia. And, he's a dedicated career to public service. Obviously, a great artist also, if he can carve out a canoe. And supposedly, Mr. Point actually found a log while he was in his travels, and it looked like someone had started out to carve kind of a canoe. He basically thought that this might have been started a couple hundred years ago, so he was just finishing the process. And so it's an amazing piece of art. Next, you'll see the coat of arms of British Columbia. This has been updated, and it was really neat. Our tour guide kind of explained the difference between this and the original version. So you'll see the Royal Union flag, which symbolizes the province's origin as a British colony. And then you'll see three kind of wavy figures, blue bars, which represents the Pacific Ocean, and then sun that signifies British Columbia location as the most westerly province in Canada. And then to the middle of this, you'll see the Wapiti stag and the bighorn sheep that represents the colonies of Vancouver Island and British Columbia. And then the motto, which is in Latin, Splendor sine ocasu, which means splendor without diminishment, which is kind of describes the British Columbia. So it's a really neat thing to see. Next is the stained glass window, which was done to commemorate the 60th anniversary of Queen Victoria's reign. Supposedly, for many years, this was kind of just hidden away and stored, and no one actually found it. And they finally took it out and said, wow, we have this. And so they kind of forgot about it for a while, but now it's out in display for everyone to see. Next, you'll see where the members of the Legislative Assembly sit, and it's kind of neat. It's not in session, so you can't go in. It's locked, but it's kind of nice to see this. And I guess in the top there, if it was in session, visitors would be up in the galleries, and you could kind of view the proceedings. You'll also see some magnificent foyers that are stunning. And it actually is quite an impressive building. And it really is, a tribute to us as people. We're taxpayers, and this is really our house and our building. And so really we should kind of be able to, take and partake into the grandeur of it. These are interesting steps. These are only reserved for heads of state. So the Lieutenant Governor will kind of go up these steps on the opening of Parliament. And also, for instance, if the Queen or King Charles were to visit, he would come up these steps. Any type of head of states, the the Emperor of Japan, things like that. And so it's kind of a very, special kind of to see this short video of the foyer area. And this is where the lieutenant governor would walk up the steps and then cross into the house of the sitting legislative assembly. And you'll see this is straight directly across from the steps. So he would walk straight into the building and then across this corridor and then to the legislative house. I'll also mention there is a restaurant in sight, and members of the public can go to that if the house is not in session, and you pay the same amount of price that you would that members of the Legislative Assembly would pay for lunch. When it's in session, when the members of the Legislative Assembly are there for lunch, then I guess the members of the public can't use it. And this is the last thing they showed us, which is in the basement, which is kind of a vault to store important documents and things like that. So all in all, I thought it was quite a nice diversion. It's a nice thing to see. You only need about an hour to go through everything, but it's kind of nice to see it. And the steps of the legislature are very grand. It's free, and it's a nice diversion when you go out to Victoria. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, safe travels.